After we have explained and shared the entities of dhammas, the 18 dhatus in chapter 1, now it is time to explain their functions. So this is chapter 2, the Indriyas, or we call it the controlling faculties. We will discuss about the functions of different faculties and their production and their inner relations, all dependent on their entities, of course. So in this chapter, the 22 Indriyas, their categories, the production of forms and mental events, dhammas dissociated from the mind as well, and then the causes, the effects, and the conditions, as we often encounter in the text of Buddhism, will also be discussed. First, what are the 22 Indriyas? So these controlling faculties, they are discussed from the perspective of functions. 14 are included in Dhammadhatu, and they are the 5 sensation faculties: pleasure, pain, satisfaction, dissatisfaction, and neutral. So recall that we have the aggregate of sensation, as mentioned in chapter 1, the threefold. The pleasure and pain, they correspond to the physical, to the bodily sensations that bring joy or discomfort to one's body. And satisfaction, dissatisfaction, they are associated more with the mental consciousness to cause mental joy or mental discomfort. And neutral, again, is the kind of sensation that is neither pleasant nor painful. And it applies to both body and mental status as well. And the next 5 faculties are the 5 praxis-oriented faculties: faith, diligence, mindfulness, concentration, and discernment. Well, these are mainly cultivated during the path conducive to penetration, which we will discuss more in chapter 6, like those heat, summit, receptivity, and supramundane factor. But of course, for ordinary beings started practicing Buddhism, we all have it. It's just a difference as to which extent we have it, or how strong they are, how strong that they are manifested in us. Next is the life faculty. We can simply understand that it is this life faculty that keeps us alive. And the next 3 are the 3 pure faculties with regard to purification and nirvana. And these 3 are purely belonging to the noble beings. The first one is called coming to know. It is the pure faculty during the path of vision. Next one is called understanding. It is the one during the path of cultivation. And then the last one is called the perfect knowledge. This one is exclusively belonging to the perfected beings, like an arhat or Buddha, people beyond training. So these 14, they are in the Dhammadhatu, part of the Dhammadhatu, if you correlate to the 18 dhatus. And then we also have 8 that are connected to sense or mental faculties. So we have these 5 sense faculties from eye to body: eye, ear, nose, tongue, and body. And we have this mental sense faculty plus two sexual faculties: the male sexual faculty and the female sexual faculty. So altogether, 14 plus 8, we have 22 controlling faculties, which we also call them Indriyas in Sanskrit. About the functions of these faculties, the subdividing scholars, they think that the five, or maybe should I say, the five sense faculties, the eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, and the body, they have four functions. First, they decorate our bodies. Second, they protect our bodies. So like when you see something dangerous, when you hear some risky sound or as well, for example, then you will know it's time to escape or it's time to find a safe place. And the third function is to apprehend objects to raise consciousness. Well, this is understandable. Like your eyes apprehend a color or a shape, then the eye consciousness would arise. And so on. And the fourth function would be to see the difference in like colors and hear the difference in sound. Colors like white or red and sound like near or far or distant and so on. So these are the four functions subdividing scholars believe these five sense faculties possess. However, the Sautrantika, they only agree with the third one, and that is to apprehend objects for arising of the consciousness. They don't think these five can decorate or protect our bodies, or see the difference in the names of different factors, because Sautrantikas, they think it is done not because as we recall what we shared in chapter 1, these faculties or these eye or from eye, ear, nose, tongue, and body, they're actually clean and transparent factors that cannot be seen by our naked eyes. So how can something that cannot be seen by our naked eyes decorate or protect our bodies? So the Sautrantikas, they don't think so. They only agree with the third one. They do apprehend objects to rise consciousness. And about the two sexual faculties, the male and female, subdividing scholars, they think these two sexual faculties have two functions. That they can tell if they're men or women. They can also cause the difference in beings. For example, the varied appearance, the voice, and the characteristics and the physical status and so on might be caused by these two different sexual faculties. For Sautrantikas, they would say, okay, these two sexual faculties, they are merely part of the body faculty. They don't have any independent entities. So you cannot really tell the difference in sentient beings. Like, for example, the devas in the form dhatu, in the rupa dhatu. In the rupa dhatu, you can tell them if they're men or women, but it's not from the sexual faculties, because they don't have sexual faculties in the form dhatu. The next, about the life faculty, subdividing scholars say they have two. Say the life faculty has two functions. First, to hold the current sameness. For example, one is a human now. He or she has this sameness as a human sameness, and then he will maintain human in this life. And the second function is to connect this sentient being to next life. That means for rebirth. While Sautrantikas, they only agree with the second. They only agree with the first, that the life faculty helps to hold the current sameness, but it has nothing to do as a bridge to next life, or it has nothing to do with rebirth. When someone dies, the life faculty is gone. The next faculty is the mental sense faculty. While the Savastivadins, they say, okay, it has two functions. First, to trigger good or bad actions as mind, and the second is to connect to next life. Sautrantikas again only agree with the second. It says, okay, this mental sense faculty is not the Dharma that triggers good or bad actions as mind. That is done by collision. But it serves as a connection to next life. This they agree. And then the 5 sensation faculties and the 5 practice-oriented and 3 pure faculties. These they don't have much disagreement between Savastivadins and Sautrantika scholars. Basically, they would say that the 5 sensation faculties would mainly, one of them is one group is the pleasure and satisfaction. These two would mainly increase or trigger or enhance greed, while the pain and dissatisfaction would mainly increase hostility, while the neutral sensation would mainly enhance people's ignorance. The 5 practice-oriented and the 3 pure faculties, as we could certainly understand, they can suppress, alleviate, or permanently abandon the defilements. That we agree about. Or the Savastivadins, Sautrantikas, they don't have much disagreement on this. If we compare or if we correlate the 22 faculties with the 18 dhatus, then we have this diagram. The left, you see these 18 dhatus, 6 sense faculties, 6 objects, and 6 consciousnesses, while on the right we have 22 Indriyas. It is very clear. As you can see here, the 5 material faculties, they are from the eye to the body. The mental sense faculty, it corresponds to the mental sense faculty and the mental consciousness. The 2 sexual faculties, they correlate to the body. As Sautrantika believe, it's just a part of the body faculty. Life faculty and the 5 sensation faculties, the 5 praxis-oriented faculties, these all belong to the Dhammadhatu. They're part of the Dhammadhatu. And the 3 pure faculties, they can consist of the mental consciousness, part of the Dhammadhatu, and the mental sense faculty. Yeah, that's the correlation if you compare these two. Savastivada, they also think that among these 22 faculties, 9 of them, namely from the eye to the mental sense faculty, plus the 2 sexual faculties, plus the life faculty, are the basis for defilements to arise, as we may understand. And 5 faculties, namely the 5 sensations, can grow and nourish defilements directly. And the remaining 8, and those are the 5 faculties, the 5 praxis-oriented faculties, are the basis for the noble path and pure factors to arise. We need them to grow our good roots. We need them to cultivate during the path. And the 3 faculties, the 3 pure faculties, are the noble paths and pure faculty factors in nature. And according to Sautrantika, the 14 faculties as mentioned by Savastivada are for continuation of the samsara. And the other 8, the 5 praxis-oriented and the 3 pure faculties, they are for the cessation of samsara. Now let's take a look on these 22 faculties from different perspectives. First, let us examine how many of them are pure and how many of them are impure. First, we have these 3 pure faculties. As the name suggested, they are pure and they are always pure. And we have 10 faculties that are impure. This includes the 7 material faculties from eye, ear, nose, tongue, body to female and female. These are all material faculties and they're always impure. And we have also this life faculty, which is always impure as an effect of retribution. And the pain and dissatisfaction faculties, always impure. These are conditioned dhammas and they're not forming a part in the path of truth. Then we have faculties that could be either pure or impure. And we have 9 of them. It is the mental sense faculty, and we have these 3 sensation faculties, the pleasure, the satisfaction, and the neutral. And plus the 5 praxis-oriented faculties, faith, diligence, mindfulness, concentration, and discernment. Then we have this, that's how they are, pure or impure. A criteria for this is that if a faculty forms a part in the path of truth, then it can be pure. If not, then it is impure. Next, let us examine how many faculties are effects of retribution, being retribution, meaning as effect of retribution, and how many of them are not. When we say that a factor is an effect of retribution, we actually mean that this factor is impure and is always impure and is always non-defined. It can never be good or bad in nature, and it always belongs to sentient beings, because this is an effect of retribution due to ripening of past actions, past karma. So always being retribution, we find 1. That is the life faculty. It is always being retribution. And it is because it is always an effect of ripened karma. And it is non-defined, it is impure, it belongs to sentient beings. And then we have 12 faculties that can be either retribution or not retribution. So we can see that, like, we have the 7 material faculties, the eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, and the 2 sexual faculties. They are retribution, but they can also be accumulation, effective accumulation. This we have actually discussed in chapter 1 when we differentiate the 3, the effect of retribution, the effect of accumulation, and the uniform outflow, right? So these 7 material faculties, they can be retribution and they can also be the effect of accumulation. We have also these 4 sensation faculties, except dissatisfaction. Then the 4 sense faculties, and plus the mental sense faculty. If they are karmically matured, pleasure or pain, then yes, it is due to previous karma. They are retribution. If these are good or bad in nature, or if they are non-defined, associated with skills and daily behaviors and so on, then they are not retribution. Well, if they're good or bad, of course they're not retribution, because retribution is always non-defined. But if they are non-defined, associated with skills or daily practice, daily behaviors like speaking or walking or some kind of rituals that actually need or require learning or practicing or training in this life, well, then it is not retribution. You have to acquire that kind of skills or behaviors via training. We need to make effort in this life. That's why it is not retribution due to past karma. And then we have 9 faculties that are absolutely not retribution. And they are the 5 practice-oriented faculties plus the 3 pure faculties. They're good. They're always good. So they can never be retribution. And this dissatisfaction as well. This dissatisfaction must be good or bad. It can never be non-defined. For example, because it is associated very often with regret on some good or bad actions or thoughts. So, for example, if one performed something really bad, he did something bad, and afterwards he felt regretted. He thinks that he really shouldn't do it. Then this will arise dissatisfaction, and that is a good dissatisfaction in nature. And on the contrary, if someone did something good, but afterwards he felt regret, he thought he shouldn't done it, then this kind of dissatisfaction is bad. Okay, so now, Next, let's examine how many faculties have retribution and how many don't. When we say a faculty that can have retribution, meaning that it can be a retributive cause, meaning it has the power as a seed that can give rise to future retribution. So it means that a factor having retribution must be impure, and it must be good or bad, and it must be able to lead to an effect of retribution. So we found one faculty that always has retribution, that is dissatisfaction. It always, because as mentioned earlier, it is never pure. And it is never non-defined. It is either good or bad. So it fits all the conditions, all the requirements for a factor to have retribution. Then we have 10 faculties that can be either case. First, the mental sense faculty plus the 4 other sensations: the pleasure, the pain, the satisfaction, and the neutral. So these 5, if they are bad or good, impure, then they will have retribution. If they're non-defined or pure in nature, then they are not having retribution. We have also these 5 praxis-oriented faculties. If they are good impure factors, then yes, they will have retribution. And if they are pure, if they consist part of the noble path, if they are in the continuum of noble beings, for example, then no, they will not have retribution. We also have these faculties that will never have retribution. The 7 material faculties, the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and the 2 sexual faculties plus life faculty, they are always non-defined. So never have retribution. They don't have the power, they can never serve as a seed. And the 3 pure faculties, they're always pure. They're good, but they're pure. And pure factors do not have retribution. They are beyond the 3 realms. So to sum up, non-defined and pure factors, they are without retributive effects. They never will. And only bad factors or good but impure factors could have retribution. Yeah, we may discuss a little bit more in next lecture when it comes to the different causes, when it comes to the retributive cause. Next, let's see how many faculties are good, how many are bad, and how many are non-defined. Obviously, the 5 praxis-oriented faculties, from the faith all the way to the discernment, plus the 5 plus the 3 pure faculties, they are always good. And dissatisfaction can be twofold, as mentioned a bit earlier. If they're dissatisfied with bad deeds, it is good. If they're dissatisfied with good deeds, they're bad. And we have this mental sense faculty plus 4 other sensations. They can be threefold. When they are associated with good, they are good also in nature. When they are associated with bad, they're bad. When associated with non-defined, they are non-defined. And we have these 7 material faculties and the life faculty. They're always non-defined. Then let's examine how are these 22 faculties distributed in the 3 realms. First, the 3 pure Indriyas, the 3 pure faculties. Well, they do not belong to any of the 3 realms. They transcend the 3 realms. So yes, they are absent. But be aware that the pure dhammas, they do transcend or counteract the 3 realms. However, noble beings with these 3 pure faculties, they can live in one of the 3 realms. They are just 2 different things. We talk about 2 different things, okay? And next, in Kamadhatu, we have 19 faculties, excluding the 3 pure. Because all those 19 faculties can contribute to the arising of defilements. Greed, hostility, pride, doubt, and so on, within the desire realm. So, to be more precise, they are the 5 sensations, the 5 praxis-oriented, and 7 material faculties, plus life faculty, and the mental sense faculty. And in Rupa Dhatu, the form realm, we have 15 faculties, which we shall exclude the male and female faculties, which shall exclude the pain and also the dissatisfaction. These 4 do not exist in Rupa Dhatu. And the reason is that the 15 can contribute to the arising defilements within the form realm. To be more precise, they are the 3 sensations, excluding the pain and dissatisfaction. And the 5 praxis-oriented, of course, they also exist in Rupa Dhatu. 5 material faculties, they also have eye, ear, nose, tongue, and body. And life faculty, of course. And plus the mental sense faculty, always there. Yeah. They don't have this male and female faculties as explained earlier. Beings, they get born in a form realm. They have already, before they get born, they have already abandoned the sexual desire. And according to the text, these faculties, these 2 sexual faculties, also make one ugly. There is no pain or no dissatisfaction faculty in Rupa Dhatu, because there is no cause or condition for these to arise. Most of the time they abide in meditations, and their body is not the same kind of body as in desire realm. So this pain or dissatisfaction and their mental status mostly in meditation, so no pain, no dissatisfaction for devas in Rupa Dhatu, as they are nourished by samadhi and absence of annoying objects. Then in the formless realm, the Arupa Dhatu, there are 8 faculties. The five material faculties from the eye to body should be excluded, while the pleasure and satisfaction, these 2 sensation faculties, should also be excluded. And then the remaining 8, namely the 5 praxis-oriented faculties plus life and the mental sense faculty and the neutral sensation, they exist in the formless realm. And the reason is that they can contribute again to the arising of defilements within the formless realm. Next, let us examine how many faculties one can have as a minimum or as a maximum. Well, first, the possession, the circumstances when one possesses the minimum numbers of faculties. There are two kinds, or two circumstances. First, we talk about those who have cut off the good roots in the desire realm. Then they will possess only 8 faculties. That is the minimum number. And they are the body sense faculty plus the 5 sensations and life faculty and the mental sense faculty. For example, they will not have the 5 praxis-oriented faculties because they have cut off the good roots. And this, of course, this is this only because and no birth is in higher realms, because he says in Kama.2, right? Because no rebirth in higher realms is possible without the good roots. But according to Mahayana, of course, there's no absolute cutting off of the good roots, but temporarily, but temporarily, yes. So these 8 faculties they possess, it's actually we talk about the case of gradual death, meaning when this person is about to die, they will lose the 5. They will lose the eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue faculties gradually, but already before the real death. Also, the male and female sexual faculties as well. They will lose. They will be gone already before the real death. They don't have the 3 pure faculties, so only 8 faculties remaining for this person. That's one of the cases with minimum number of faculties. And the second circumstance for a sentient being possessing only 8 faculties is for ordinary beings born in the formless realm. They possess 8, and they are the neutral sensation plus life plus mental sense plus the 5 praxis oriented. Well, that's also 8 faculties. And they don't have the 7 material faculties, of course, because that's formless realm, and they don't have the 3 pure faculties because, as said here, they are ordinary beings, and they don't have the 4 sensations. Obviously, the 4 sensations do not exist in the formless realm. Now let's take another look on sentient beings possessing the maximum number of faculties. Then we also have 2 circumstances. The first one is for those bisexual in Kama.2 and with the good roots. And they will possess at max 19 Indriyas, 19 faculties, excluding the pure faculties. So excluding the 3 pure faculties, they have all the rest. They have the 7 material faculties: eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and male and female sexual faculties, because they are bisexual. And they have the 5 praxis-oriented faculties, and they have the 5 sensations, of course, and they have life and the mental sense faculty. And another case is for noble persons in training. In training means they have not been perfected yet. They have not obtained arhathood yet. So for those in the path of vision, they possess 90 Indriyas, 19 faculties, excluding 1 sexual faculty. So these noble beings, they are either men or women. They can never be a bisexual. No, not a bisexual, never. And the last 2 pure roots. So that is they don't have this understanding or the perfect knowledge. They don't have these 2 pure faculties, but they do have the first one, which is coming to know. So then they have 19 faculties as maximum. So and then another case is those noble beings in a path of cultivation. They also possess 19 faculties at maximum, and that is again excluding 1 sexual faculty and the first and the last pure faculties. So they have the pure faculty of understanding, but they do not have that one called coming to know, and they do not have the perfective knowledge, perfect knowledge. Okay, so they also have 19 faculties as at maximum. Yeah, that is for this part. Next, we will continue with production of forms and production of different categories of mind and especially the mental events.